Back in the day, people used to struggle. And what I mean by struggle, people used to have a hard time getting a lot of things done, getting a lot of things accomplished. Marketing, businesses, podcasts, everything was a struggle. Now, what if I told you that there's a founder who went from literally struggling, to getting 10 customers and landing over 500 plus qualified leads in just 8 weeks. And the only thing that was changed in this process is how they took and started to use AI. See, they didn't go and replace their team. They didn't start cutting costs. But what they did is when they turned to AI, it became like the secret co-founder that was like working 24 hours a day. See, AI never takes a vacation. It costs less, but it's not meant to replace an employee. Now, the cost of an employee versus AI is, substantially different. But here's the kicker. That same person, that same founder of that company who was skeptical about AI, I think it was like 3 months earlier? Yeah. 3 months earlier, they thought it was all hype. Like most of us, they think things is all hype. Now, ask yourself this. Does that sound familiar? Because there are a lot of people out here today who are afraid of AI. Now, if you stay with me for the next 35 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how AI can become your secret weapon as a founder. See, it can implement those strategies that you need. It can start your business off the way you want it. It can help you take back your time. It can help you minimize a whole lot of unnecessary extras. But in order for you to do that, in order for you to find out, because this futuristic fantasy is becoming today's reality. Let's rock with it.
Welcome to the Solopreneurs Chronicles podcast, the show where solopreneurs like you learn how to ignite, ascend, and empower a one-person business that works for you, not the other way around. Each week, your host, Anthony Porter, will bring you actionable strategies, real-life stories, and expert insights to help you attract clients, create consistent content, and turn your passion into profit. Whether you're just starting out or looking to level up, this is your go-to resource for making big things happen on your own terms. If you're ready to ditch the overwhelm and build a business that fits your life, hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Let's dive in.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Solopreneur Chronicles podcast. You know who it is. It's your man, Mr. Anthony Porter, and I am your host. I am your solopreneur, legacy builder, journeyman, and I'm here now today to talk about something that we need to really get to the point, to the root cause of everyone's fear. See, this show is where we're going to deep dive, like we've been doing, into some of the real strategies, the tools, and the mindsets that successful founders use to build and scale their businesses every single day. Now, before we jump in, I want to be completely transparent with you. I wasn't always an AI believer. I was like y'all. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, we're talking about AI, the founder's secret weapon. So you have to understand, I wasn't always a believer in what was going on. See, when I founded my business, Amplifier Digital Academy, I was doing it the old way. I was following the model that was taught to me by people like Russell Brunson, Dean Graziosi, and Grant Cardone. I was motivated by people like Eric Thomas and Tony Robbins. And then I started studying like podcasts because see, Amplifier Digital Academy is that digital real estate. It's the academy for the Solopreneur Chronicles podcast, the up and coming adventure, the Legacy Builders Network. See, I didn't want to believe that AI could help me because I was stuck in those ways, right? So, in fact, like 6 months ago, maybe a year ago, I was exactly where a lot of y'all were. And then I watched a podcast episode from Circle of Greatness, and Nehemiah Davis had Alicia Little on there, the queen of AI. I mean, I was literally sold. I mean, I had been using ChatGPT, but I didn't know how to use ChatGPT. And back then, I was right where a lot of y'all are right now. You know, hearing all the buzz about AI, not really knowing what I was going to do with it. But then I started seeing all these tools popping out that I could use for my business. And then I started hearing people like Alicia tell you, You substituting your time and effort by using AI. See, what a lot of people don't understand is what you could do when you was copywriting your episodes and coming up with titles and things like that. Hours, days, weeks trying to just craft the perfect hook, to craft the perfect message for your sales funnels, and craft everything that you needed to be crafted. Now, the one thing that I had to learn is how do I use AI and apply it to my business? How do I use AI to apply it to the podcast, Solopreneur Chronicles? How do I use it to apply it to Amplify Digital Academy? Because that's where I teach. And how do I get it to the Legacy Builders Network? But here's what all changed for me. And I mean, it changed everything. I stopped thinking about AI as a replacement for human work. And I started looking at it and thinking about it as an amplified human intelligence. Once I learned how to take and program ChatGPT to be me, not replace me, but speak on my behalf. Talk and make copy as if I'm doing it. Talk and make sales funnels as if I'm doing it. You laying out the framework. They don't create the product for you. You have to go in there and still, as a human, you still have to go in and create everything. You have to visually put all of this together. This system with AI is not a replacement. It's an enhancement. And that shift alone transformed on how I operate my business, my podcast, my community today. Now, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about AI as the founder's secret weapon. And I promise you, this isn't going to be another surface level conversation about ChatGPT. See, that's what everybody's afraid of. See, ChatGPT is probably one of the most sought after AI producers out there, right? But then you got to think about it. You got Copilot, you got ChatGPT, you got Gemini, Google Gemini, that. Then you got Claude. And we can't forget about the latest one, DeepSeek, because DeepSeek is the equivalent and the cheapest version of all of these put together. And it still spits out high quality content that you got to go in and tweak and fix so it can be in your words and not AI's words. So we're going to dive deep into these strategic implementations of AI that could fundamentally change how you operate as the founder of your own company. So by the end of this episode, you have a clear framework for identifying where AI can have the biggest impact in your specific business, plus 5 concrete AI implementations that can start today, even if you are not as technical as the person who is sitting across from you, in front of you, behind you, or teaching you in this episode. Y'all stay tuned. So let's get into this. Now, before we get into this, I want to say this. If you are new to the podcast, welcome. Welcome to the Solopreneur Chronicles podcast. I told you before, we dive deep with the realistic strategies. We give you that grit, that no fluff. We don't sugarcoat nothing over at the Solopreneur Chronicles. If you are returning, welcome back. Now, here's what I need everybody to do. I need you to subscribe to the podcast and leave us a review. Tell us what you think. See, a lot of people don't want to give their opinions. I value your opinion because your opinion helps me either fix it or enjoy what you said if you enjoyed it. And then the last thing I need you to do is I need you to get ready to join the Legacy Builders Network. If you are a business owner, a solopreneur, course creator, coach, that's for you. That's exactly who that's for. Someone who's wanting to build a legacy, because what we're going to do is we're going to get in there. We're going to talk about a lot of things. It's a community to where you can sit back and vibe with other like-minded individuals such as yourself and learn. Now, we're going to start out as a free community, but if you want to advance and get some of that knowledge of basically how to be an entrepreneur or revise your entrepreneurial role, or even maybe you want to learn how to start a podcast. Because see, podcast is evergreen. The Legacy Builders Network is definitely going to be for you. All right. So stay tuned, man. We're going to give you the launch date. It's coming up in about 2 weeks, man. It's coming up, right? July the 1st, right around the corner. So, and another thing, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Solopreneur Chronicles Podcast. Subscribe to that because there will be some other teachings that will be put out weekly, 2 or 3 times a week to help you throughout your journey. Because see, you're going to get these episodes over here. You'll get the short versions when we're done. But some of these other teachings will be more in depth to help you out. All right. Y'all ready? All right, let's talk about it. So the reality of things is, a founder, listen, we constantly juggle a million things. We feel like we're being pulled in so many different directions. But what a lot of people don't understand is, as a founder of a company, you are customer support, you are the marketing team. You are the sales reps, product development, financial planning. The list goes on and on and on. But here is the brutal truth. Most of us are spending too much time in our business instead of on our business. And if you don't understand what that means, when you spend too much time in, that means you're doing everything like we just named out. When you're not spending enough time on, that means you're not creating something that of value that can help transform a person's lifestyle. So one day I was out, I want you to listen to this. One day I was out having one of those loaded teas, and I was hanging out with a buddy of mine, and he told me this. He said something that stuck out like a sore thumb. He said, I feel like I'm running a 24-hour customer service department instead of building a company that I dreamed of. Now, if that sounds familiar to you, because it sure enough sound familiar to me, I had to sit there and I was like, man, that's deep. See, the traditional advice is always the same. Just hire more people. But here's the problem with that. If you hire more people, you get 4 things that you come at risk at. Time, you get to find the people, vet the people, train good people. And that takes months. The cost, listen, your team expansion can cost you $100K annual. You trying to live, but you got to pay this. So that $100K now cuts into, so say you make $1 million. You got to add people. You make $1 million in revenue. Well, you ain't made $1 million no more, because now you got to cut into that $1 million and you got to get busy with, what is it? And now you down to 999,000 or 900,000 or 800,000. It's just too much. And then you have the risk. What if they don't work out? Or what if the market shifts? And then complexity means more people equals more management overhead. See, there's a lot of things that play into what goes on in your daily life. Now, here's why a lot of people are so nervous about certain things. See, with AI, that changes. It changes the equation tremendously. Think about AI is like having a team member who never gets tired, never needs time off, can work multiple tasks simultaneously, right? It gets better over time without additional training costs. And here's the best part. And can be hired and productive within an hour, not months. Did you hear that last part? It's cool to have people around you, but if you got AI and we're talking about taking time back to gain more financial freedom, AI can be hired and productive within an hour and not months. Let that resonate. We're going to let that resonate as we move on to the second pillar here we got to talk about. So as we move on, and again, do us a favor, subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to that podcast. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend. All right. You want to get that camaraderie together. You want like-minded people just like yourself involved with you. So subscribe, leave us a review. Your review helps it get seen. And that's what we want. So you can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Apple Music, any one of your streaming platforms. You can find the video on YouTube, because that's what we do. We record the audio and the video at the same time. All right. So let's talk about the 3 pillars of AI-powered founding. We got to talk about it. So a lot of people don't understand that throughout working with dozens of founders over the past several months, I've identified 3 core pillars where AI becomes the game changer that genuinely takes everything to the next level. All right. So pillar number 1 is intelligence amplification. See, this isn't about AI making decisions for you. It's about AI helping you make better decisions faster. And a lot of people don't understand that. See, market research that used to take weeks now takes hours. So you could listen, hear me out now. I watched a creator create a course online that would literally take 6 months, knocked it out in an entire weekend. Everything complete. Put it out there. 2 sold for like, oh my God. I think it was like a high ticket course for like $2,500. 10 of them in an hour. Over time, he was at about 200,000 in like 6 months. So it can be done. You just have to embrace the process. Because see, the competitive analysis that is required, hiring consultants, can be done over a weekend. When you're creating a course or content, sometimes you got to send it over to a different department or send it over to somebody different so they can tweak the copy and then get it back to you. And that may take 2 or 3 days, as to where you can sit here and tweak the copy in AI and be done in less than an hour. Now, pillar number 2 is process of acceleration. Lord, my Lord, my Lord. See, every repetitive task in your business is a candidate for AI enhancement. But here's the key. We're not talking about full automation. We're talking about AI handling, literally handling the grit work so you can focus on the strategic elements. See, you want to take the AI and let them do the dirty work so you can focus on things like marketing or getting it out in the social media task. All of the stuff that you need to worry about, you can have done with AI being the catapult or being the driving force behind everything that you were doing, right? So, and then last but not least, pillar number 3, you can scale without complexity. Now, this is that knock it out the ballpark home run. This is at bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, you down by 1, run on first. You step to the plate. It's out of here. Game over. Walk off. See, that's the big one. AI allows you to serve more customers. It creates more content. It handles more inquiries without increasing your complexity or your overhead. Now, if you like me, and if you sitting here and you keep hearing me talk about overhead, you keep hearing me talk about money, and you don't think that this is about money, then you're in the wrong profession, because guess what? That's what this is all about. 3 key pillars in being wealthy in life. So when you talk about that, you talk about this right here, because this is an example of what this means. It's called the lead qualification revolution, right? So here's something concrete that you didn't know. I used to work with a B2B software founder, and they were spending 15 hours a week manually qualifying leads for their website. 15 hours plus. They get like 200 inquiries a week. Can you imagine you spending 15 hours trying to inquire over the 200 that have inquired about your website, but only 30 was eventually qualified? Just look at that. You spent 15 hours to find 30 people out of 200. And then they got smart. They implemented the AI-powered chatbot. Saved them a ton of time. See, it helped with the intelligent conversations with prospects. The smart leads was being scored based off the company size, the industry, and even specific pain points. And then it automated the follow-up sequence. And see, that felt personal because it required 0 manual input. So the results went from 15 hours manual work to 2 hours of review per week. More importantly, their lead quality actually improved because AI never got tired, never forgot to ask important questions, and could engage prospects for 24 hours a day. So that 13 hours per week, over 650 hours per year that the founders got back to focus on product development and strategy partnership, woo, that was powerful. So you got to think about it. Quit being scared and learn to use these tools. Can you imagine? So one of the tools I like to use is called Opus Clip. Can you imagine me recording my podcast, chopping my podcast up in video software, and then having to upload it 3 to 5 times a day? As to where I use Opus Clip, guess what I do? Opus Clip now uploads it for me on a schedule, gives me the correct hashtags, it gives me the captions, it gives me everything that I need. To where if I was doing this, it would take me 8 to 10 to 15 to 20 hours a week. Cuts me down to exactly 1 click, 1 hour on Sundays, idealized and schedule out my content. Because see, this post is already done. This podcast is already shot. So I've already started working on the next one. So I've already got it to where Monday morning, it's already chopped and ready to go. So now let's talk about this in this next section here. 5 important high impact AI implementations. Now let's get tactical. We're going to walk you through 5 tactical, specific AI implementations that could transform your business operation. They're not theoretical. No. Battle tested by all of the founders that I have been sitting around talking to, just trying to pick their brains of their companies so I could know exactly how to move. Because as I'm starting to build the legacy builders network, I needed to know what it was like. What do you do differently? How do you do this? What makes this go? What makes that go? It's just things that you got to understand. So implementation number 1 is AI-powered customer research. What that is traditional research is expensive and slow. Surveys are low responsive rates. Focus groups cost thousands. And by the time the results hit your desk, or hit your inbox, something might have already shifted. Here's the AI approach. Use AI to analyze thousands of customers, support tickets, reviews, and social media mentions. Identify patterns in customers' language and pain points automatically. Okay. And then you want to generate detailed customer personas based off actual behavior and not the assumption. So you don't want to be assuming anything. You want to be technical about it. You want to dig deep. You want to know who you are dealing with. And then you got to have a tool stack. So you can have a tool stack like Monkey Learn, because that does your analyzation. And then you can have custom prompts from ChatGPT to analyze what you just did and put this in batches. See, when you like a person like my partner, he's an e-com co-founder. Well, he's an e-com founder. He just dropped his shorts line, just testing it out for the summer. He used the same approach to discover that customers weren't actually concerned about the price. They were more concerned about the shipping reliability. Basically, they wanted to know if they ordered, can your product get to me without getting lost? So he had to figure that out. Once he figured that out, everything became smooth for him, man. He's doing great. Shout out to my guy, Dre. All right, content creation is number 2, the implementation that you need to understand. And this is the content creation at scale. See, content marketing works, but it's incredibly time consuming. The average blog post takes 3 to 4 hours to research, write, and then optimize. Video content, man, it takes even longer. I told y'all, video content is out the door. Now, when I switched over to how AI was working, here's how AI did for me. See, AI was used intentionally to research and outline my creations. So my outline is outlined with AI. I deliver my content, not scripted, but I deliver to you. So I test multiple verifications with, the content. And then I repurpose content across different platforms, different formats, just so that it automatically reaches and it draws people to say, hey, I want to go check out a full episode. All right. So the purpose was start with a core expertise and create a comprehensive prompt library. So basically you want to start with your core and then build around it. All right. Use AI to generate detailed outlines based on keyword research and then create content that you can collaborate with. AI handles the structure and the research. All you got to do is add the personality and the expertise. Now, use AI to optimize different platforms like LinkedIn, Instagram, and of course your blog. See, this isn't about AI writing your content for you. No, it's nothing like that. It's all about AI handling the research and the structured work. See, that's where everybody gets the misconception at. Y'all thinking that AI is creating a lot of this content when all it's doing is just laying it out. And then you got to be the voice behind the podcast, the videos, the carousel posts written. You got to think that the stuff that you write, your carousel posts, your posts that you post on LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, all of that, you can outline it, but it's up to you to create the content. All right, now, let's talk about the sales process, optimization. Woo! Most founders hate sales. I do. But honestly, it's the driving force behind your business. You don't make sales, you don't make no money. But AI can make you much, much more effective salesperson without changing your personality. See, you don't have to sell your soul to be in the top 1%. So you can have the pre-call presentation. AI can research prospects, identify, and suggest conversation starters based off the company's recent news, like social media activity and even some industry trends. But then during the call, real-time AI tools can provide you with suggested responses. They can do some relative case studies while you're sitting there. They can even help identify buying signals in some conversations. And then you got to have your post follow-up. AI generates personalized follow-ups, the emails that you use that, listen, it references specific points for your conversation and suggests the next steps. Did you just hear that I said it's a pre-call, during call, and post-call? That is a system that is in place that would take you months to put together that you could have done in less than probably 2 hours. See, this consulting firm saw their close rate increased 23% from 23%, to 41%. Just using AI to prospect, research, and follow up their automations with their clients, potential clients. The key was that every interaction felt more personalized, more relevant, because they had better information going into this conversation. Now, if you got better information, listen, it's like when you watching these YouTube videos where people have studied or police, man, think about you watching NCIS. When they start out, they don't know who the killer is. They don't know what happened. But as the show goes on, it starts to build up more suspense because now they're starting to piece together everything that brings the close to an end. When you get to the close, the case is solved, the show goes off. You got to wait till next week to see what happens next week. So now when you do that, you got to remember this is the operations and management part. So this is implementation number 4. This is where AI becomes the virtual chief of staff. Most founders are terrible at tracking all their moving pieces in their business. They just don't do it. They don't think about it. So this is where you automatically categorize and prioritize incoming emails and tasks. Yeah. You generate project statuses reports by analyzing your team communications. You create automated workflows and adapt based on the changing priority. See, that's the game changer. AI-powered management isn't just about automation, though. It's about prediction. Good AI tools can warn you, can help you about potential delays, resource conflicts, and scoop creep before anything becomes a problem. And then last but not least, the financial intelligence. More founders check their financials monthly at best, but cash flow problems don't wait for monthly reviews. The financial manager does it daily with predictable, with automated expensive categorizations and anomaly detections. The revenue forecasting is off the charts, and the cost optimization suggestions based on your spending patterns. It does all of this for you. So you have to understand, man, when you get into these situations, that's something that you really have to think about. So here's an implementation framework. Here's how to approach these implementations. Week 1, choose one area that, currently you're having the biggest time drain from. Week 2, research and test AI tools for this specific case. Week 3, you want to implement and refine that system. And in week 4, you want to measure the results and optimizations. Don't try to implement all 5 at once. Take your time. See, a lot of people screw their business up because they want to hurry up and get shit done. Take your time. Pick one that will give you the biggest immediate return on your time investment. All right? That's all you got to do. Now, here's some common mistakes to avoid. Let's make sure that the biggest mistakes the founders are making with AI, because avoiding these saves you a ton of time, a ton of headache, and all the frustration in the world. Listen, one thing you got to do is, mistakes that y'all doing out here is y'all trying to automate everything at once. Don't do it. Take it one step at a time. All right. Number 2, not understanding your data. You got to know exactly what that data is talking about in order for you to understand, for you to fix what's going on. So before implementing any AI solution, spend time cleaning up your existing processes and data. Simple. Number 3, man, expect the AI to think like you. Now, you can teach AI to talk, respond like you, but it can't think like you. I've said this before. In your business, you will hire somebody. Listen, shout out to everybody who does this. They want to make extra money, and there's nothing wrong with that, with some done-for-you things. But they can't make money. They don't know your business like you know your business. All right? So AI can spit out tones and patterns like you, but it can't talk like you. So spend time training AI tools. Create detailed prompts, provide examples, and then initiate. So Alicia Little, she did that. She taught AI how to be a ghostwriter. So when I write now, it's talking for me. All right. Number 4, ignore the human element. People will tell you one thing, they ain't used it. How can you tell me what to do in my business if you ain't never done it? See, an AI tool is not the replacement for judgment. See, that's what they want you to think. Nah, don't use that, man. It's going to replace you. How do you know? You never tried it. All right. See, the most successful implementations from AI that I've seen maintain strong human oversight and decision making. Now, always build a human review point, especially for customer-facing interactions. If you meet somebody face-to-face, how AI going to replace you? Please tell me that. And then last but not least with this one, these are the 5 mistakes. Not measuring your impact. People do not measure their stats. They do not check their analytics. You'd be surprised how many founders implement AI tools and never actually measure whether or not they are really truly working. I mean, you have to define that clear success metrics before implementation. Track your time saved, your quality improvements, and then your revenue impact. And I'm telling you, if you do all of this, you will win the AI game, man. And you will take back a whole lot of time, and a whole lot of more financial stability becomes available. Now let's wrap this thing up. First off, if you got some value from this episode, I'd love to connect with you. Follow me on Instagram at I am Anthony Porter. Also follow us over on Instagram at the Solopreneur PC. And we can chop it up, man. Now, but here's something you really want to know about. The community is coming. That community will help you grow your business. That community will help you enhance your skill set, your mindset, your personal development. All of that is something that you will need in the future. All right, so we're going to have some things in there about some specific AI tools that I like to use. I'm going to drop down inside of the community. That way you will know how to save time. We're going to do some weekly case studies. All right, we're going to have some prompts. We're going to have some templates. We're going to have some things that could help you get to that level to where you taking back time and spending more. Listen, wouldn't it be great if you worked on your business 1 hour a day and the other 7 hours you're spending with your family, or the other few hours, because the work day is 8 hours, right? So think about it. The rest of the time you can spend with your family. Then the rest of the time you can rest, relax, and get ready for the next day. All right. Now, everything that we talked about to get started in the community is going to be completely free. The best thing is to give value. All right. Best thing is to give value. So with that being said, listen, if you want to see some more, if you want to hear more of these, subscribe to the podcast, follow us, give us a review. Follow us on IG at I am Anthony Porter. Follow us on IG at Solopreneur Chronicles PC. Check us out on TikTok. We're killing it on these platforms. All right. And until then, man, keep growing, keep ascending, keep doing what you're doing. Let's get it cracking. I'ma holler at y'all. It's your boy Anthony Porter, Solopreneur Chronicles Podcast. We out of here. Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to the Solopreneurs Chronicles podcast. I hope today's episode gave you the insights and inspiration you need to take the next step in your business journey. If you enjoyed the show, do me a favor, subscribe, leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and share this episode with a fellow solopreneur. Your feedback means the world to me and helps us reach more people just like you. Let's thank our producers of the show, Sincere and Charlie Straughter, Rhea Cash and Theory Porter. So don't forget, for more tips, tools, and resources, subscribe to the show. So just keep building, keep growing, and I'll see you next time.